The second thing I wanted to mention is a question around housing and housing affordability, quite niche on a national scale, but definitely not niche in my constituency. It's where you have an area which is part in a national park and part outside. The housing targets get set for the whole of the district, but of course there are severe restrictions on what can happen inside the national park. So you get a great deal of pressure on development and therefore on services just outside, and for me that means places like Alton and Four Marks and the southern parishes of East Hampshire. But it's also an issue for places inside the national park, because there is already an affordability discrepancy between inside and outside, and over time, as you'll get disproportionate amounts of development outside, that discrepancy is going to grow. And I do hope this is an area that perhaps the Minister can put to his friends in the MHCLG. I hope it's an anomaly that can be fixed during the NPPF rethink. But it is a situation that is exacerbated by these massively higher housing targets that are now coming for rural areas, with the change in the formula, which means that we get much higher targets for areas like mine, but actually housing targets reducing in parts of London where clearly there is a real issue with housing affordability too, and in most measures a greater issue. And I do ask that they look again at how that affordability ratio and the overall formula work, and in particular seek to ensure that it is when new housing comes in, not looking just at the stock that's there already, but that new housing that gets built is truly accessible, affordable to local people, not just creating very large numbers of new 5-bedroom executive homes, which will be just as out of reach